The Supreme Court has set aside the judgment of the Court of Appeal in Abuja, recognizing Julius Abure as the national chairman of the Labour Party, LP. In a unanimous judgment on Friday, 5-member panel of the Apex Court held that the Court of Appeal lacked the jurisdiction to have pronounced Abure national chairman of the LP, having earlier found that the substance of the case was about the party's leadership. Our guest is standing by to have a conversation on the implications of Supreme Court ruling on Labour Party. Ifeanyichukwu, Ugochukwu, good evening, sir. Thanks for joining us.
Good evening, the anchor, and to the people of Enugu State. Good evening to Nigerians
it is global. TV. It is global. Good news. Signature TV is now on SLTV cable network. So,
yes,
it is no longer...
Congratulations to Signature TV, the management and staff, and the CEO in particular for this milestone achievement. We are happy, Nigerians are happy that the media space has given a new birth to a globally accepted television channel that is there for dissemination of information, education, entertainment, and all whatnot. So I promise the global audience of Signature TV that we are in for a very bumpy package, a very bumpy listenership and entertainment news, and those who are in Enugu State, all over the world and Nigeria in general should advertise, because the meat and the oil that drives the wheel of progress of any media space is the patronage from advertisers.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much, Ifeanyichukwu, Ugochukwu, for your goodwill. Moving on the business of the day, Supreme Court sets aside judgment recognizing Abure as LP chairman. You're not a lawyer, so I'm not going to ask for the interpretation of that judgment, but how do you see the judgment? What's your own understanding of that particular judgment? Because there's been diverse opinions.
Well, the judgment of the Supreme Court today, as Nigerians woke up today to the breaking news of Supreme Court setting aside the judgment of the appeal courts that granted life into the chairmanship of Justice Abure as the Labour Party substantive chairman after the kangaroo congress that he held with his cronies. Then, because for me, that congress is really not up to the standard of what we know Congress, the National Congress of a political party should be, and therefore it was challenged by the stakeholders of Labour Party, spearheaded by the governor of Abia State, Alex Oti, and the principal or the poster boy of the Labour Party, so to say, in the person of Mr. Peter Obi, rallied around by all the other stakeholders, the National Assembly caucus, and some other notable voices in Labour Party. And what happened after that judgment? They battled to save the soul of Labour Party, given the fact that Labour Party is seen in Nigeria as the next alternative. Given their performance in the last general election 2023, the Labour Party positioned herself as a party to beat despite all odds. So when Nigerians woke up this morning to the news that Labour Party has regained freedom, so to say, Nigerians, we are rejoicing, and we, the political watchers and opinion molders, we are also happy for Labour Party, knowing that the coast seems to be clear. Then recall that when the appeal court affirmed Abure as the chairman, the the stakeholders of Labour Party, constituted a caretaker committee headed by Esther Nanadi Sambo, a former senator who represented the good people of Southern Kaduna. And she barely came to, carry out her mandate, then Abure rushed to the appeal court, and the appeal court granted him his prayers. So since then, the committee, that caretaker committee of Labour Party National, appealed the judgment to the Supreme Court, and also, went quiet so that they will not be found sub judice. And when today the Supreme Court has spoken, I think for me it's little too late. But in politics, they say that 24 hours is a very long time. It's a lot of things to happen. So we are going to sit by and watch how Nana Sambo and Nana Usman, and P2B, who has gone into comatose. His voice has quietened in terms of party politics. He is only challenging the policies of the Nigerian current government. The voices of some of the notable men and women in the Labour Party has gone quiet all this while. But let us know how they found their voices back and to galvanize support for the party. And remember that Abure, after the prolonged political disputes he had in wrestling the soul of Labour Party from Lamidi Apapa, which he had the support of Obi and all the stakeholders in Labour Party then, we thought that Labour Party will reposition herself, to serve as a viable alternative and opposition, given the balkanization of PDP, because PDP is in Pashoko, PDP is in limbo, PDP is resting in the middle heavens. So Labour Party was seen as the vehicle that will drive Nigerians to their destination. But Abure came to, work for his paymasters, because I believe that somebody has been beating the drum as Abure has been dancing, from the outside. If you ask me, I will say yes, with finality, because the wife of Abule, let us not forget, worked for the opposition party in Lagos State, the APC. And not only that, she is a card-carrying member of APC, she is also a member of that particular, campaign organization that returned Shewolu as the Lagos State governor. So if it's in a country where things are done the way it ought to be, Abure would have rescued himself from being the Labour Party chairman and thrown in the towel. But what do we say in Nigeria? Sit tight. So Abure continued to pilot the affairs of the Labour Party, grinding the wheel of progress, siphoning life out of Labour Party. You saw the accusations and counter-accusations of all the monies they made through selling of forms that he has ever counted today. The polling booth agents were not deployed as they ought to across the nation during the 2023 presidential election. So Abure was clearly not focused, and he was not assertive. I know he's not an orator. He's not one of those Nigerians that can hold their own. Before you can be an opposition political leader, you must be charismatic, you must be opinionated, and you must be somebody that is astute and sagacious in what you do. They have a political ideology that you're driving and people are following. So I don't know even how he came to hold that particular position in Labour Party ab initio. Maybe Labour Party was trying to play in the minds of Nigerians, so that Nigerians will feel that they are not towing the line of the old or the traditional Nigerian politicians, so to say, who is in the face of Labour Party then. So But today, the Supreme Court has spoken, and it is the final court of the country. And we are happy, and we also, within the few months, let's see the direction where Nanati Usman and her committee members will be leading Labour Party. And recall that Labour Party has suffered a lot of setback because of this political imbroglio, because most of their National Assembly and the State of Assembly political office holders has left the party in droves, seeking refuge and hibernating with other political parties, especially the APC, was poaching them in droves. But be that as it may, we are not losing sight, because the Labour Party won elections under the platform of Labour Party, even when Labour Party was not overly known. But today that they won election with little or no effort, just that Nigerians tilted towards voting Labour Party. At the end of the day, they decided to betray the mandate of the people.
I only believe that Labour Party will bounce back. And also recall, finally,
Ifeanyichukwu,
let's actually look at this judgment from the Supreme Court. It's sounding the same as the judgment given in the matter between Anyanwu and Ugochukwu of PDP in the quest for the party's national scribe. What actually the court is asking is, the verdict is that they go back to their parties and resolve their crisis. That's the way, I think, the way the judgment sounds. And the interpretation of Nena Usman's party of the party is that they quashed whatever judgment the appeal court gave. But the Abure's party is saying that both matters were thrown away, and they were asked to go back and settle. I don't know on which of these interpretation you are actually on.
Yes, I think your question is really apt. The Supreme Court clearly stated and re-echoed, Nigerian politicians sometimes they play to the gallery, and I don't know, that our judiciary is still suffering from Pashoko and from being stifled or being gagged. Sorry to say that, but that is the truth, because Senator Dino Melaye said, "You say the truth, you die, and they say the lie, you die." So I say the truth and I die. So the judiciary is not helping matters. Look at what the Supreme Court said, that they faulted the appeal court for entertaining that particular matter, because the court has no jurisdiction once it comes to intra-party activity, internal party democracy. The courts have no, because the Electoral Act 2022 as amended and the Nigerian Constitution never gave the courts powers to settle disputes of a political party internal crisis. Whatever becomes of the political party internal affair is purely at their own discretion, at their own purview, at their own disposal to do whatever they want. And the only time the courts come in is whenever INEC is mentioned, and whenever the Nigerian people now cast their vote for a particular person, then the courts can come in and settle disputes. But in this particular matter, the Supreme Court has told us today that the party is supreme. And what is a political party? Is the gathering of like minds. Abure, they have told Abure, we no longer need you. The power belongs to the people. The stakeholders, I don't know whether Nigerians can recall the dignitaries and the politically exposed persons that gathered at Enugu or Abia State when Alex Oti called for that stakeholders meeting that produced Esther Nanadi Usman, as the caretaker committee, steering committee chairman of Labour Party. So you could find out that clearly Abure was left at sea. Every of the stakeholders, all known stakeholders in Labour Party left him, and they were at that meeting, and they gave life to the committee of Nanadi Usman. So the Supreme Court has clearly stated that Abure has no locus. Remember that the election, the Congress he organized was shrouded in secrecy, so it cannot stand the test of time of being a Congress. So the party clearly is owned by the people, and the voice of the people is the voice of God, voice populi, voice Dei. So the members of Labour Party have said that you are no longer our chairman. So whom are you leading? When people say don't lead us, what is in it that you're fostering yourself on them? So I'm seeing that I read what Obiora, the publicity secretary of Labour Party, who is a member of Abure faction, wrote today, trying to interpret what the Supreme Court said, that after all, Supreme Court did not quash the judgment of appeal court, that they only strike out the prayers of Nanadi Usman and their own defense. But I read in another platform that the Supreme Court clearly granted the prayers of Nanadi Usman committee. So it is very clear, and the judgment of the Supreme Court is very sound. But politicians has to be politicians. But from what the Supreme Court said today, the power has returned back to the owners of Labour Party. And who are the owners of the Labour Party? The stakeholders. So Labour Party has offered over time, because of all these setbacks, which made the governor of Abia State, seek refuge in Senate Labour Party when he conducted the local government elections. Just like what happened in River State here, that the PDP governor went and hibernated with APP to conduct a kangaroo local government election, which was later, dismissed by the Supreme Court as null and void. So, but in other states, their own is still standing. But the governor is a LP, while he's a so-called structural local government chairman of the Senate Labour Party. So these are the problems that Abure has caused Labour Party. So it is time Abure steps aside. It is time he knew that he comes to the realization that he's no longer needed in the vehicle, for Labour Party to move forward. And again, if Abure do not cease fire at this particular time, what is going to happen is, because of this coalition they are going to form, it will be difficult for Nigerians to now have that particular have that particular mindset and that particular confidence in Labour Party again.
Okay,
because you could see for over 6 months,
if
a lot of Nigerians have lost faith in Labour Party.
On the interpretation of the Supreme Court verdict, is there anything to go by? It would mean returning to his party to have the matter resolved internally. Now, we all know that the eggheads in his party are the people who want him out. Do you think that this will be resolved in such a way that there will still be cohesion among party men?
I recall vividly the statement of Abure as soon as the appeal court granted him his leave, the prayers he sought to retain him and recognize him, and INEC to recognize him as the substantive chairman of Labour Party. he said that there is no more automatic tickets, that Obi has been expelled, that the state governor, all of them will come and they will register, and a lot of things. You know, there was a lot of ill feeling, and you could see that he was speaking as an emperor, so to say. So I don't think that Abure will have the faith to go and meet with the Labour Party caucus and the steering committee they have put in place. So Labour Party has moved on. Forget that the committee has kept calm all this while, waiting for the Supreme Court to speak. Now they have to take the bull by the horn and reposition the party, because Nigerians are losing faith. A lot of people are hoping on Labour Party, and Labour Party seems to be disappointing, and the people are now watching for the mega coalition. And this particular judgment today will also distort the thinking of Obi and his planning, because I know that by now he must have, not knowing where the pendulum of the judgment of the Supreme Court will swing, given how they were disappointed after the appeal court, you know, granted the prayers of Abure. You could see the disquietness and the confusion in Labour Party. So Obi has gone ahead to make some moves. So as it stands now, with this particular judgment coming in their favor, it will distort whatever plans he has. That means he will now be in a position.
Are you saying that whatever interpretation, Ifeanyichukwu, are you saying that whatever interpretation anyone gives to the Supreme Court judgment, it's still in the favor of the other camp?
Yes, the Usman
camp
steering committee.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
The Supreme Court position clearly says that the power and the decision of choosing who leads a particular political party is an internal party affair, and it is the people that will affirm. I don't know. So that is clear. It is not written in. It is not written in Arabic. It's not written in French. It's not written in Swahili. It is in a simple English that the Supreme Court made it explicit clear. So Abure and his co-travelers are just beating around the bush, you know, trying to save their safety. But we know that given what the Supreme Court has, he has handed the party back to the owners of the party. And who are the owners of the party? The caucus in the National Assembly, both the Senate and the House of Representatives, they are members in the State House of Assemblies, and most of the NEC members and the NWC of Labour Party are with the Nana Usman led group. So where is Abure going to find the people, the majority to move on, and the people that he will be leading? Abure is already left in the sea, so to say.
Okay. I don't know, but something would have encouraged party members to take party matters, internal party matters to court. I don't know if there are precedents from the past where these things have happened and people obtain judgment from the court and lord it over the party. Something would have prompted some of these legal actions from party men against party members or against the party.
You know what, the Supreme Court gave a landmark judgment, re-echoing, as I said earlier, and affirming the stance the Supreme Court has taken over time. It's just that some of those justices and some of the lawyers to all those politically exposed persons want to take money away from them, even when they know that the matter you're taking to court will hit the brick wall. You pay them for their services, and they are there to advise you and confuse you in agreeing that there is a window for you to get what you want. They're in business. You know, and if Abure didn't go to court, we'll be hearing about Abure today. So most of those things, they use it to you know, stand in the space of newsmakers, as we read in when we did communication skills. You know, they are the newsmakers. If they don't, if Abure is not in court, if Obiora, if the publicity secretary of Labour Party did not write today, we Nigerians know that he's existing. Has to defend his principle and from where he's getting his topics, as we say here in Port Harcourt. You know, so, but clearly you could see that the Supreme Court reaffirmed and said that this particular issue is party internal democracy, that the court has no jurisdiction, emphasis, has no jurisdiction. So you now ask yourself, what on earth had made even the trial court to even accept
up until the point that the matter went to the Supreme Court, yeah?
Yes. So why was even the lower court entertain such a matter that is coming as a result of internal party crisis? They know all those things. They know all those things. But what they are doing is that Abure also using it to buy time. Most of them use it to buy time and to remain relevant.
Now that you have mentioned this, 2027 is around the corner. I don't know if you're foreseeing this imbroglio in Labour Party continuing until the build up to 2027. I don't know what this pronouncement from the Supreme Court would mean for the party in 2027. I know that you have alluded to not having assurances about Peter Obi remaining in the party, given the plans for the coalition party plans that are ongoing. But this particular pronouncement from the Apex Court, what would it mean for the party in preparation for 2027 elections?
You know, that's why I said that the judgment came a little too late, because a lot of things a lot of water has passed under the bridge. But be that as it may, Labour Party was literally unknown, so to say, before they took the Nigerian political electoral space by storm in the 2023 general elections. If those traditional political parties like the APC and PDP, we are told that they will be struggling to manipulate the result of our election that was won by literally an unknown party, they will not believe it. You know, because all of us are witnesses to what happened in the 2023 elections. We only are respecting the pronouncement of the Supreme Court, but any Nigerian of good conscience, even those in power today, know the truth. They know what happened. They know, INEC knows what happened. How can a glitch suddenly surface after uploading the senatorial and House of Representative results that were conducted at the same space, the same time, and when it came to the presidential, they suddenly developed a glitch, a question for their conscience.
Okay.
But let me go back to what you're saying.
I hope you will really, without deviating.
No, I'm going back to what we are talking about. Labour Party.
Yes.
We are talking about Labour Party, and Labour Party and P2B is what is in the space. So I know what I have just interjected in there. So, but P2B, being a politician that he is, could now not be toyed with, even in the formation of the coalition. Remember that they were toasting him like the wave is toasting a ferry ship in the high sea, because he has no strength again. He could not negotiate from a position of strength. We heard that he was going to come back to PDP. We heard he was meeting Atiku. He was meeting with Erufai. He was meeting everybody. Was now meeting Obi. But now Obi can negotiate in the International Committee of Nations, and in politics, you negotiate with the structure you have on ground. And we are so happy also that the obedience has formed a committee.
And if that happens, what will be the fate of the party on whose platform he contested the last general election?
No, as is, Obi has clearly, and Labour Party has clearly seen that they might not achieve what they are dreaming for alone. So, but now, are you assuming without conceding that the party returns back to the original owners and P2B is in position of strength. He could not negotiate. What is even SDP?
Okay, you have said all of those before, but let's also continue with the implications of the Supreme Court ruling. This time around, probably away from the party, the Labour Party. We have electoral law that keeps evolving over and over again and hinging on precedents, hinging on the acts from the Constitution and all of those. But this particular pronouncement that is not happening the first time in the recent times, what significance will it probably have on the Electoral Act?
It is laughable that the Nigerian National Assembly, the Senate and the House of Representatives are beating around the bush, amending Constitution and leaving the main thing that they should have done, because the Electoral Act of 2022, as amended, signed by Muhammadu Buhari, did not capture all the new areas, all the gray areas that have made our electoral process hitch-free. You could discover a lot of things, and you remember that INEC, the Electoral Act did not mandate INEC to use electronic system. It is still left within their discretion to either transmit or to do manual collection. So we need to, the Electoral Act needs to be explicit. And that was why I was happy after the election of 2023 that with the robust National Assembly, that we have a lot of opposition parties gaining a seat in that particular place, that we are going to see a robust National Assembly. But what did we see? Immediately they gave them the SUV of 160 million. Everybody went quiet. You could see now that it is even like a one house. Look at the ratification of state of emergency in River State. It was just shrouded in secrecy and all that. But if you have a robust National Assembly, you see debate. I don't know.
And by robust, you mean act also having active. By robust, Ugochukwu, Ifeanyichukwu. By robust, you mean having active opposition?
Having active opposition, healthy rivalry that will speak for the Nigerian people. Look at the number of House of Assembly members LP gathered. Look at, they are coming from an NMPP, they are coming from ABGA, they are coming from different parties. But what are you seeing in Nigeria today? A seemingly rubber-stamped National Assembly. So if they amended the Constitution, which is not our problem, we have good laws. We need to build strong institutions and not strong men. Also, if they have not tinkered with the Electoral Act and makes it explicit that mandates INEC to toe certain lines, we are just wasting our time. The election of 2027 will come and go, and Nigerians will continue to cry, and voter apathy will continue to swell. But this particular Supreme Court judgment today is going to, bring a turnaround in the Nigerian political space. Believe me.
Okay.
Because from now to 3 months, Nana the Usman that I know, and with the person of Obi and LSOT and other nationalists that are supporting them, they are going to turn around the fortune of the Labour Party. Remember that there was a time Labour Party wanted to go for mega registration, but all those ones were kept aside because of this imbroglio. But be that as it may, as it has come to settle the tie, we are hoping for a steady ship in Labour Party, and we want to see that that opposition revibrating,
is there a
holding the government accountable.
From you, considering this ruling and its impact on the party? Because I asked you previously if they would return in-house and settle, and what the outcome would be.
No. Okay, I get your question. See, there is nothing to settle there. Is that Abure has had his time. He has tried. He has written his name in the annals of history. Even after the general elections, I said it is time for him. There was a platform where I said it's time for him to throw in the towel because he never knew fortune will smile at him. But you know, Nigerians, they are always hydra-headed. They want to, you know, they want to stick to a particular position in perpetuity, so to say. And Abure found himself in that particular shoes again. But somebody who has
so you think the only way that peace can be restored is by him stepping aside for
No, he has to clearly. He shouldn't have a double thinking. Okay. Abure should just step aside, allow the party to have a breath of new life.
All right, thank you very much.
Because if he continues in this space, it will rubbish all the gains and all the good names he has already garnered for himself as somebody who led a literally an unknown opposition to you know to redirect and reshape and rewrite the history of the Nigerian political
space. Thank you very much. Our time is up.
Save Nature TV. News in your pocket.